So whenever we talk of democracies, you have to remember that democracies are of two types. One, a direct one, and the other, an indirect one. Or, yeah, we say indirect one. What is India? India is an indirect democracy, not a direct democracy. How do we know whether a country is direct democracy or indirect democracy? There are three outstanding features of a direct democracy. One is a referendum. Other is recall. A third is initiative. What do these mean? Referendum means whenever an important issue concerning the nation is to be taken, it is not the few people, wise men that are there in the government that take the decision. Do you think all the people in the Council of Ministers are wise men who know everything? No. So what is the best thing is, democracy, it is government of the people, by the people and for the people. Therefore, important decisions are to be taken by the people of that particular country. That is the opportunity that is given by a referendum. That means important issues are referred. When you say, we say referred to the source of power. The source of power in a democracy is people. Therefore, you ask the people of that particular country, shall I do this? Or shall we not do this? For example, Britain had a referendum whether to continue in the European Economic Community or to get out of it. Scotland held a referendum whether to continue with the United Kingdom or get out of it. Other countries also have referendums where you ask the people, should I continue or should I not continue? So this kind of a decision that is taken by the people is binding on the government. The next feature is recall. Recall the representative. Whenever you find that people's representative does not protect the interests of the people of that particular constituency, he works for his own selfish interest rather than the people's interest, the people of the constituency have a right to recall that particular person. Say that we don't want you to represent our constitution, our constituency. Please come back. We will send somebody who is more selfless or more interested in public welfare rather than self-interest. This is a right that people have. They can recall the representative. And third thing is that initiative. Generally, in most of the democracies, you will find that the initiative to make a law is with the legislature or with the executive. In India, a bill is introduced in the parliament by the concerned ministers. Ministers are executive. Usually, this is what happens. Ministers introduce the bills. But sometimes people believe that it is necessary to have a bill, a law. The government or the ministers might not be thinking of it, might not be interested in producing that particular bill. In that case, the people of that country can initiate the process of legislation. You might have heard of signature campaigns, is it not so? Whenever a player is removed or whenever somebody is removed, you carry out a signature campaign and say that fellow has to be included, etc., etc. So when the signatures are collected and the initiative is proposed, is put before the parliament will have to debate and discuss whether this particular bill has to be prepared or not. Mostly they will accept because the power is with the people. And people say, we want this particular legislation, then automatically the legislation is made. Maybe in India we would say, maybe all ministers, all politicians should have an educational qualification or something like that. Then we can put a signature campaign and send it to the parliament, and if the parliament accepts it, yes. But it doesn't happen in India, don't worry. So these are the three things that indicate that is a direct democracy. People talk about plebiscite. Plebiscite is not a referendum. It is only an opinion. If it is an opinion, it is the government's privilege to discard that particular opinion. It is not binding on the government. All other countries which do not have this kind of features are basically indirect democracies. They are not direct democracies. So with that, we can declare that India is a direct democracy because we don't have any of these features. Either you call it as indirect democracy or you call it as representative democracy. Whenever we talk about indirect democracies or representative democracies, we again put them together into two. Presidential and parliamentary. Whenever we talk about presidential form of a government democracy, it means in this arrangement, all powers, all executive powers are simply given to the president of that particular country. And this president is indirectly or directly elected by the people. And most of the people think that, the American president is directly elected by the people. Is it not so? US president. As a matter of fact, I'll be discussing US government today, and it is not directly elected, he is also indirectly elected. Just like our president.